to push us beyond that. Ernest Holmes calls it that God-given something at the center of our being, which is our spiritual ego. And he says, excuse me, in Living the Science of Mind text, Living the Science of Mind on page 172, what he says about this is that to find this true center is the end and aim of our search. This divine person within us has, in a sense, one hand placed in the hand of God and the other outstretched to humanity. For the person who finds himself in God will discover God in others. He and she will see things in a different light than will the one who thinks he is alone. He or she will draw strength and inspiration from life itself. For no man can live without God and be whole. And since everything is included in God, for God is the only presence and power that there is, the person who wants to be most himself or herself will have to be the one who has discovered more of himself or more of herself in that which is greater than he or she is. Our capacity to think, to live, and to move is non-physical. Let me read that one more time. Our capacity to think, to live, and to move is non-physical. There is an invisible presence hidden within us, which has its source in a higher power, and which acts through our actions, wills through our minds, and reveals itself in what we are doing. He says that the question is whether we are living from this center or whether we are thinking of ourselves as detached, separated, divided, alone, and inadequate. We all have direct access to the infinite presence, the universal person. There could be no more beautiful thought than that the divine spirit itself, infinite as it is also within us. And so, change the future and creating a future that we are desiring then means that each one of us has to start to tap into that part of us that we've not fully embraced. Where each one of us have to begin to discover all that is within so that we can let it out. So that we give an avenue for it to unfold in our life. In, through, and as us. So, then in this moment is where we find ourselves at crossroads. Where we might find ourselves at a crossroad. It's in this moment where we have to consider what you think you have, and consider what you think you don't have. There's one key word in that you think. That's not true. But consider what you think you have and consider what you think you don't have or what you've never had. And when we get to this crossroad, either we surrender to what is or we accept what isn't. When you get to this crossroad, either you surrender to what is or you accept what isn't. This is a life-changing moment, an opportunity to set your life on a new trajectory, full of momentum of life itself. See, we're talking about a new territory that you've never seen before. You have to know that you're prepared for it. When you get to that point, to surrender to what is or to accept what isn't, to surrender to the divine power and presence of God within you that you've never embraced and embodied before. That peace that is within you that you have never even peered into. The love that so surrounds you and supports you that you have never tasted before, that has never, as Lou said, sang a song through your eyes. There's more to you than you can even imagine. A new territory, a fire of transformation breaking through my core. It's breaking through the core, shining in the darkness where I can see the light of day. This new territory, right where you are, all that you desire and require and need, it is your strength. It is your way. Change the future. And so through surrendering then, we let go of that part of us that denies the supreme presence, that part of us that lives contrary to it, that lives contrary to the truth. One more quick reading from Ernest Holmes, Living the Science of Mind, page 425, and the title chapter, The Great Surrender. He says in it that it is the great negations of life that we have to surrender to. The doubts and fears and uncertainties, the coldness and unkindness, the lack of love. He says that this separates us from the conscious daily realization that we already are one with the supreme giver of life. He says God is love, and we cannot get close to the nature of love while we hate. It is the hate we have to surrender and not the love. When Jesus said you have to lose your life and find it, he was saying you have to lose your hate if you wish to find love. You have to let go of everything that is unkind if you wish to discover kindness. Now, I don't want you to raise your hand up, but if you have unkind thoughts about the people at work, if you have unkind thoughts about your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, even if it's been 55 years. If you have unkind thoughts about anything, anybody, we have to be willing to let go of everything that is unkind if you wish to discover kindness. And even have to surrender fear if you wish to discover faith. Now, it's not easy, Ernest Holmes says. It's not easy to make this surrender because we are in the habit of thinking of ourselves as being strong, self-reliant personalities, and that we can sweep everything before us. It is not easy to be meek. It's not easy to be humble. But again, he says we should examine the meaning of meekness. And while we do not find any arrogance in the life of Jesus, we find a terrific strength of character, a will to accomplish what he set out to do, a determination to fulfill his mission. A determination to fulfill our mission. Remember the new territory? To fulfill your mission. To allow it to become an avenue to move you within. And so through surrendering then, we let go. We let go of that part of us that denies the supreme presence, that part of us that lives contrary to it. And the things then that you and I are now considering, it's an opportunity for us to begin to invite in possibilities that we've never considered before. new possibilities that we've never considered before, where we allow our consciousness to move us through, and not only through, but to move us to more peace, to move us to more love, to move us to a greater understanding, to move us to a peace that is so perfect, to move us to a greater love, where we allow a greater expressions of ourself to flow through, where we allow a greater expression of life to begin to flow through us, where we are immersed instantly in more joy, in more love, in more happiness. I don't think, for me, in my studies, in my willingness to engage in meditation and prayer, that nothing has moved me so, caused me to be more available to God than this idea of surrender. To this idea of understanding that there's something much greater in me and something much greater in you. I said it is a trajectory changer. Move you onto a new track. Notice I didn't say a better track. I said a new track. Because when you move into a new territory, something you've never seen before, you have to be new. You have to be rolling on a new track. Your momentum has to come from a place that you've never experienced it from. You have to become open and available to it. And then I was listening to, gosh, I can't think of her name, somebody. And she said that she was sharing about Esther Hicks. She was sharing about how we move into this space where we gain more momentum when we're on this new trajectory. She was saying that it's the simple things that we have to do, that we have to quit going against and just chill. And just chill. Right? When I was a little girl, my brother and I, when my dad would come home, when I was a little girl, my brother and I, we loved going to the arcade. Okay, that's all we wanted to do. And my father would come home on a Saturday morning, been out all night, and he was tired. And my brother and I, we would get up first thing in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, and we would run into his room, jump on his bed, say, when are we going to the arcade? Wake up, it's time to go. This went on and on, hour after hour. If I can't say anything good about my father, the man has patience. Wake up, let's go. But as Esther said, that when we are drawing to us, when we are seeking to change our future, we have to chill. We have to chill, because what he would say to us, he would say, go and rest yourself. Go rest yourself. And then a few hours later, he'd wake up and get himself together and we'd go to the arcade. But the moment we would rest ourselves, the thing that we desire would come to us with ease and grace. The moment that we would just be in the moment and engage in some joy and some activity together, the thing that we desire would come to us. See, that's true about our life today. The moment that you chill, stop thinking about it so much. Yeah, you have intentionally thought about it, but now just chill. And it'll find its way to you. This is important, because when you go into those new territories, sometimes you just gonna have to chill. You have to chill, and then suddenly a peace you have never experienced, a peace you can't explain, it's just unexplainable, will come to you. A love that you've never experienced will find its way in your heart. where we will begin to see the best of life and to see the best of love, to see the best of everything. Practitioners, join me in closing this out. As we, or as I or you, if you know the song, as we sang with Ricky, there's a new territory that I never saw before. It's like a fire of transformation breaking through my core. It's shining.